many scholars, politicians and scientists have told us for many decades that with the rise of modernity would also come a rise of secularism. Well, this idea of secularism basically means a division between state and church. And we do see in many modern Western societies that the political public realm is often neutral and secular, whereas the private realm is often more where the religious belongs. And this makes me wonder, do we live in a secular age? Because is the world really disenchanted? Has science solved all the problems you have? Does this world make sense to you? And maybe most important, do you feel connected? These questions have occupied me ever since I was a little girl. I grew up in a small village in the south of the Netherlands, and it was a Catholic village. We even have a freshly proclaimed saint in 2007. Well, I was enchanted by the mystical words that the priest would utter in Latin, and I loved how the light would dance through the stained glass windows in the church. But even though I really wanted to, I could not confirm myself to their belief system, simply because I just didn't believe it. So where does it leave you in a secular age? Philosophy made me realize that it doesn't really matter whether you are an atheist, a non-theist, a polytheist, or maybe a non-theist at all. What matters is that you feel connected. And you can feel connected by the notion of transcendence. Well, transcendence is quite a complicated philosophical notion, but the way I understand it is quite literally. What is transcendent is simply that which transcends you. It goes beyond your personal, individual realm, beyond your own control. And it is like the idea of God in monotheistic or theistic religions, for example, where, of course, God is something that transcends you, it goes beyond you, but you still can have contact with it. Well, the same mechanism also works in everyday experiences. And let me explain you how this works. Imagine yourself being a fanatic football player, supporter I mean, and it's the World Cup, and you are there to support your country. Well, normally they are quite mediocre, but this year they managed to reach the finals, which is of course very exciting. So you, as a fanatic football supporter, are in the stadium during the final match. And it is fierce, it's neck to neck, and you almost given up hope because they are not doing that well. But then, at the very last minute, your country scores, and you feel such an outburst of joy, such an amazement. You feel that life makes more sense, it is fuller, and when you look around you in the stadium, you see that every single one of the people who are supporting your nation as well, they feel exactly the same. And you feel connected in this moment. This is what I would like to call a transcendent experience. And it's exactly the elements of sense, fulfillment, and connection that makes it an experience like this. And even if you're not a football supporter like myself, you've had these experiences as well. Remember the time that you fell in love for the very first time, and how this other person made you see the world in a different light. Or when you were at a concert of your favorite musician and how it felt in a moment, even being in a crowd, that he or she was playing just for you. Every one of you has this experience, probably before. Think about it for a second. It is beautiful how even though they are unique for every single one of you, they have this universal value of exactly sense, fulfillment and connection. And even though religion is often connected to the transcendent, because it is, of course, a very important part of the definition of many religions, it doesn't necessarily have to be this way, because it's practical as well. It's in everyday life, right around the corner. And you can feel it. It's what the ancient philosophers knew long before religion came into existence. So the next time, when you are wandering around the world, trying to make sense out of it, maybe on a quest for just a little bit more fulfillment, or simply seeking more connection, remember that you don't have to be religious in this day and age in order to recognize these transcendent moments. If you are open to them, you can recognize them. And if you embrace them, you truly feel that you belong in this world. Thank you for listening.